half in the bag.
You can be happy here.
So how's the repair of Mr. Plinkett's VCR coming along?
Oh, you know.
You know what? Let's go ahead and actually fix it.
What?
That's right, Jay. I have a whole new angle to our long-lasting scam.
Do tell, do tell.
Well, I point you in the direction of over there. Take a look-see, will ya? You see, Jay, the way I figure it, any day now, Bob Newhart could pass.
Bob Newhart? I think you mean any second.
And when he does, it'll certainly be in all the newspapers. Mr. Plinkett is going to find out. He's going to want to watch his Newhart tape right quick.
I think I know where you're going with this.
So this way, when he wants to watch his Newhart tape, his VCR will be ready to go. Invoice in hand, paid on completion.
But then what do we do after that?
Well, might I ask you to take your directionals in this wig?
I think I know where you're going with this.
Right, so then the next day we show up saying, we're here to fix your VCR so you can watch All in the Family, Maude, Mork and Mindy, any of these tapes.
Sluts a Poppin' Volume 4?
Not that tape. So then if Corporate Tim shows up and starts snooping around again, asking why it's taken so long to complete one job, we'll have completed many jobs.
But why can't Mr. Plinkett just watch all those tapes on his one working VCR?
I knew my plan had a secret hidden flaw.
That's okay. I wasn't actually going to fix Mr. Plinkett's VCR. I don't even know how to fix a VCR. Plus, newspapers aren't real anymore.
Really? Well, where does all of America get its news from?
TikTok influencer in the house! Oh no! Did you guys hear that? There's a nuclear warhead on its way here to Milwaukee!
What?
What?
What are we gonna do?
Shit! Didn't you get the alert on your phone?
My phone's off.
I left my phone at the VCR shop. What do we do? Oh God, I think I'm pissing myself.
You've been dunked by the dunkster. Just faking, not truthin'. I just did the new TikTok challenge. Burst into a stranger's home and tell them there's an ICBM headed towards their home, city, or country. It's hysterical.
Yeah, real funny, asshole. This is a brand new pair of underwear that I just got at the Dollar Tree. And now they're ruined.
Whoa! This TikTok just got 697 million likes and earned $14.8 million on sponsorships in those 5 seconds. There's no way that this bubble's ever gonna burst. Hey, do you guys mind if I do my next TikTok challenge? Videoing yourself standing in a stranger's bathroom for 1 hour? Time-lapse mode, of course, no cheating.
Sure, go ahead. Whatever.
Okay, go along with me or else my legal team will sue you, okay? Don't fuck with me. I am currently valued at 1/8 of Mr. Beast's net worth.
Got it? Good.
Oh, hey, old dudes I don't know. Do you mind if I use your bathroom? It's kind of an emergency.
Sure thing, young man. It's right down the hallway.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, right down there? All right. Whoa!
What the fuck is happening?
Look at it. The youth of today. They have all this amazing technology, and what do? Waste it on nonsense like that.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, we're gonna be dead in a couple years.
It's true. Hey, speaking of dead, have you been to the movie theaters lately? Let's talk about movies we've seen this year to date.
If you love them, this is how you save them. You can be happy here.
Well, Mike, it's that time of year again where we realize we're almost halfway through the year and we haven't talked about any movies.
The most non-caring thing I saw was someone said, when are we going to know what Mike and Jay thought of Godzilla versus Kong Part 4?
Oh.
And I said, I just don't care about that at all.
It's weird, like, because I liked the last Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, it was
fun.
all right. It was pretty good. That's enough. I'm good.
But even like, I feel like it's bleeding out now, because we've been cynical and bored with these movies for a while, but I feel like it's bleeding out into everybody now. We're like, nobody really, even if there's a movie that comes out, like The Fall Guy, people are like, oh no, The Fall Guy underperformed. It's the death of movies. And it's like, is that where we're at? Where we're disappointed that a different reboot of an old franchise is not doing well? There are, of course, still movies that come out and do well.
In theaters?
But they're fewer and far. Everyone always says, well, you can say movies are dead, but what about Oppenheimer
What
and
about
Barbie?
Barbie?
Barbie and Oppenheimer. The reason everyone brings up those two specific examples is because they're the exception.
Yeah, I looked at the movies coming out for this summer, and Wolverine and Deadpool is like the only but comic booky or tentpole thing. A Quiet Place Part 3, Part 1.5. What else was there? I think we only watched one movie in the theater this year for the show. What was it, Jay?
It was Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh, God.
That hit.
Oh, my God.
Well, speaking of shows, we'll start with this, because we could talk about this briefly, and then it'll lead into one of my movies.
Okay.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh.
Not a show that we really talk about much, but Curb Your Enthusiasm ended.
Yeah.
Amazing show, great show, consistently good for like 2 decades.
Yeah.
And it ended this year, and it got really well. The finale did really well, like received really well, which is funny because obviously it's almost a complete remake of the Seinfeld finale, which is hilarious and brilliant. But it's funny because that came out.
Knew they were going there.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. Like redeemed. I never hated the finale of Seinfeld, but a lot of people did, and just the fact that Larry David remade it just out of spite is hysterical.
A spite remake.
A spite remake, yeah.
This is how we should have ended the finale. Oh my God, you're right. How did we not think of that?
But the whole last season was good. But it's funny because that came out the same year that Jerry Seinfeld had a new project come out that is just like hated.
In the early 1960s, the American morning was defined by milk and cereal. And the two undisputed giants of the cereal world were Kellogg's and Post.
It's bizarre. Like, it's not great. I watched it. I laughed a bit here and there. But people are frothing at the mouth. Like, it's like, how can you be mad about this? It's just like a silly comedy.
Well, it seems like almost like a commentary on all those movies about the creation of products. Like
it could be if they pushed it
Cheetos
further.
movie and the
Yeah, it's weird because
Founder,
Seinfeld directed it. He's never directed anything his entire career.
Really?
And for some reason, at age 97, he decided to make a Pop-Tart movie. It's just odd, just an odd choice. His post-Seinfeld sitcom career is like, he did that animated B movie, and then he disappeared for a long time, and then he comes back with a Pop-Tart movie, just an odd
Well, he
man.
did Comedians in Cars with Coffee.
Yeah, there's that. That was a TV thing.
Probably did stand-up tours, and he's got boatloads of money.
He doesn't need to do anything.
Whatever he
so.
wants. He seems to have that kind of attitude.
Yeah.
He
Well,
likes-
that's the way I don't think because people were like, oh, this is another one of those product placement, the movies. And it really isn't because
a parody of that, right?
They could have pushed it further into parody, but it's more just like an excuse to have a just completely nonsensical, silly comedy.
Okay.
Nothing more.
Okay.
No message, just a straight up goofy comedy, which gets made so seldomly now. That's something with that sort of just straightforward ambition. I was like, okay.
Now, what are the politics of this movie?
There are no politics in this movie.
Well, why would people be angry about it? Which group does it offend or upset?
Yeah, it doesn't offend anyone. It's just a stupid movie about Pop-Tarts. Because Seinfeld's had a long history of being obsessed with cereal. And there's
true.
like beauty shots of cereal in this movie. And it's very, that's why when people are like, oh, it's another product placement movie. It's like, no, this is just one of the weird obsessions that Jerry Seinfeld has.
Cereal and Superman.
Cereal and Superman. He's not going to make a Superman movie. Maybe he should. That would breathe some different life into the comic book movie genre. Instead we're getting James Gunn's Superman, which looks fine. That's another thing, everyone's divided. They release one photo and everybody loses their mind. But the Unfrosted movie, like, it does that thing that's gone away for a long time, but like 90s comedies where they have like constant wacky music to let you know that it's a comedy.
Okay, just double the sugar, triple the gluten, and spell fruit, F-R-O-O-T. There's no fruit in here. Obviously, fruit cannot survive in a box on a shelf.
And it does that, which is really annoying. So it's not like anything amazing, but I laughed a bit here and there. It made some very bizarre choices where it's like, why is that supposed to be funny? There's a running gag with like a mutant ravioli that has sea monkeys in it. And it's like, goes throughout the whole movie. The thing gets bigger and bigger. And it was like, what is this? Why is this in the movie? So, I don't know. It's an odd one. It's an odd comedy, but I don't know. It's not worth getting angry about.
Isn't this a cereal company? Why did my husband explode?
Well, let's transition from comedy. I actually watched, I guess it was a comedy. Usually I watch like terrible Blumhouse horror movies, but I watched a very indie comedy called Lousy Carter.
All your behavior is odd to me. I keep expecting you to sound sort of worldly and professorial, but instead it's more like someone who's somewhere in between 14 and 16.
15?
Okay, so this movie, if you watch the trailer for it, you'll say, I know why Mike watched that. Because it is dry and cynical and sarcastic. Okay, well, here's the official description. Man baby Lousy Carter, that's his name. That's not his real name. That was a nickname that stuck in high school. Man baby Lousy Carter struggles to complete his animated Nabokov adaptation. That's a Russian author. Teaches a graduate seminar on The Great Gatsby and sleeps with his best friend's wife. He has 6 months to live, period. so it's this like, this is schlubby guy.
Do they give out awards for movie descriptions on streaming services?
They should. So yeah, that's the bit in it. So
it's like he has 6 months to live, so he doesn't give a fuck, or?
No, he's completely apathetic of everything in life, even his own upcoming death.
Okay.
It's really quite. It's almost like looking at life through like this weird lens. It's almost like a satire of life.
You guys usually shake people down right after the doc hands down the death sentence?
I don't have access to medical records.
Okay.
I'm billing.
The way everybody in it acts, it's just so like, for example, like his doctor, he goes to his doctors, and it's not like, oh, you know, there's no drama in it. There's no one gives like you know, sappy performances. No one emotes. Everyone is just deadpan, and they treat all these like there's an affair. He's trying to sleep with one of his students, like kind of half-heartedly. He's like, well, maybe I have 6 months to live. I guess I'll try to sleep with the student.
Can you feign interest?
That's what I thought I was doing.
Like I'm just filled with just like overwhelming apathetic joy for this fucking movie. But it looks like a 90s indie movie, like shot on 16mm film.
Okay.
It doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
I think it was filmed with an iPhone.
Okay.
Because it looks terrible, but it has that feel. Like a swingers,
Scrappy, independent 90s
slacker,
film.
swingers, movies like that where it's like flat shots, dryly delivered dialogue, indie 90s movie. No attempts at making it cinematic. No attempts, you know, just doing its thing. And there's so many good little quips, and it's great.
Okay,
it's great. Not a lot of people like it, but it's great. And it seems like it was made with the amount of effort that all the characters go through life as. And it's filled with lots of little awkward moments.
Is this like, what was that movie that came out, was it last year? Where it was like the main character, and it was also the writer-director, some lady, and the world was ending, so she was wandering around and kept running into all these like comedy people. Is it like that where all these people show up in cameos?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because that movie was very like cloying and annoying.
That movie was bad.
Yeah.
This is not that.
Okay.
There's like 4 main characters. I mean, there's some stuff to pull out of it, but I don't want to say anything else. It was good. It was good. And it was 77 minutes long.
That's amazing.
And I'm like, got it. Sold. Sold. Give me some of that dry comedy.
There was some sort of like poll done recently about asking people like what the ideal running time for a movie should be. And it was like almost unanimous that everyone's like 90 minutes. Because everybody's sick of these fucking 3-hour nightmares.
Anything else? That should do it.
Now, would you say, I haven't seen the movie, you mentioned like it felt like a 90s indie thing. Would you say that was like intentional? Almost like they were kind of like trying to do something in the style of a 90s? Because 90s nostalgia is here. It's on its way. It's growing because we've pilfered everything from the 80s. I say that because I have 2 90s related movies.
I'm not
that
sure.
I've seen. Okay.
I'm not sure.
Because I saw Snack Shack.
Okay.
Which takes place in the 90s.
You made this? How old are you guys?
14.
Directed by Adam Reimir. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Reimir. But we talked about him, of course. We loved Dinner in America. That was a movie that had almost no release. And then we tried to prop it up because nobody had seen it. And this movie got a theatrical release earlier this year, but nobody saw it, and nobody's talking about it now. But that's also a 90s, like the trailer is full of 90s jams, and it takes place in the 90s.
I saw on Twitter Kyle Gallner.
Have we been pronouncing his name wrong? Did he ever correct us, or he just goes?
No,
he probably goes with
he doesn't care.
Yeah.
I think some it was on a talk show or something, and I heard, and that's the proper way to pronounce it is Gallner.
Oh, okay.
He was pushing for tweeting about doing a sequel to Dinner in America.
Oh.
Which it could have possibilities.
I mean, I guess it could go anywhere. It's just a character study, so just have those characters go do something else.
Right. Well, the girl's starting a band, and he's in jail,
Yeah.
and so he could get out of jail.
There you go.
They'll do a little Blues Brothers.
And break out of jail or something.
She picks him up in a retired Mount Prospect police car.
Just remake the Blues Brothers with those two.
Hey, why
That
not?
movie.
Why not? Something. I don't know.
I'm just thinking about the Blues Brothers with the Dinner in America couple. The part when Kyle Gallner's driving, he's like, 'cause I drive fucking nuts.
I drive fucking nuts. Buckle up. I drive fucking nuts.
Well, so first Dinner in America took place in a little small town. Dinner in America 2 has to be road trip.
Oh, there you go.
You know.
Dinner Across America.
Dinner Across America. Okay. Kyle Gallner and Emily Skeggs. But Emily Skeggs also has to be she can't just be an accomplice. She also has to go on the run.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Her like all girl like band has to get in some kind of trouble.
Does she have like a riot girl band, like
Yeah.
a lady punk band now? Well, that's this director's strength is characters, because that's the charm of Snack Shack too, and it's nice that it's not another extremely like vulgar, aggressive punk rock movie. It's just another character study movie.
Okay.
I think if he did another movie like Dinner in America, you'd be like, okay, that's his thing. But this is another movie, strong characters, but a lot lighter. It's not nearly as intentionally off-putting. But he excels at any of these like main characters that are not typical movie lead characters. Because Snack Shack it's these 2 young guys, sort of like a summer coming of age movie, but they're not all those types of like laid back summer like I don't know. I think like Richard Linklater like comedies or whatever. They're always like slackers or it's a coming of age movie, so they don't know what they want to do with their life. But the 2 guys in this movie are just like straight up like super energetic like entrepreneurs. And it's nice to see a movie where these 2 young characters are just extremely motivated. It's different for a movie like this. Too motivated, because that's the whole premise of the movie is they think they can make a shitload of money on this Snack Shack at a local swimming pool, to the point where they're asking about it at the beginning of the movie. They're like, who runs the Snack Shack? And they're like, oh, whoever, we have a town hall meeting, and whoever puts in the highest bid for it gets to, run it for the summer. and they horribly overvalue it and end up paying like thousands of dollars when normally someone would pay like a couple hundred to rent it for the summer. So the rest of the movie is them trying to like make back all the money they blew on renting the snack shack.
And no doubtably fall in love and find things about themselves and each other.
Sort of, yeah.
Sort
of. There's a little bit of a love triangle. It's all done in a way where it's not very like movie. It's not like overly maudlin.
Overwrought.
The second half does
drama.
take a turn into more dramatic territory, but it feels earned. It's good. I like this Adam Reimer.
Sorry, I just got an alert. Adam Reimer hired to direct the next Captain Marvel movie, which is a Captain Marvel prequel for Disney Plus on the new Marvel Plus streaming series. They're making a Captain Marvel prequel TV series on Disney Marvel Plus streaming all access.
Oh.
All access denied. Sorry, Adam Reimer's dead.
He's dead to us now.
He's dead to
Well,
us
that's funny.
now.
You mentioned at the beginning Quiet Place 2, or Quiet Place 3, the Quiet Place prequel that's coming out. And that's directed by the guy who did Pig, the Nicolas Cage movie, possibly my favorite movie of the last decade. And he follows it up with another Quiet Place. That'll probably be decent, but still. There's no room
There's
to
only
grow.
one answer to that question, Jay. And it's the almighty Allah.
What?
Very deep cut Simpsons reference, which undoubtedly some of them out there got it, but you
I did not.
Did not.
I do pretty good with Simpsons references.
I know.
As long as they're not the Simpsons in the last 25 years, because nobody watches that shit.
I know. It's an old Bart and Milhouse are playing with the Mad magazine. And remember the Mad magazine fold-ins?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember them. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I
so
vaguely remember this happening on The Simpsons.
They fold it in, and the answer is like, "Why are politicians so greedy?" or something like that. Or what do people love the most about this? This is the almighty dollar.
Yeah.
So they fold it in. Homer folds it in wrong, and he reads the almighty dollar, and because he's a buffoon, he just laughs at it because he thinks he should.
Right.
Because he thinks he did the mad fold-in correctly. Because Homer Simpson is not a smart man, if you've seen The Simpsons. I don't know if you're aware of that character trait or not. Apparently you seem oblivious to all things Simpsons. But anyways, so...
And this has been Simpsons Corner.
So, a snack shack, not just a snack, but a full meal of cinema.
Were you Gene Shalit?
Gene Shalit stinks of onions. Did you get that?
I did.
Tell me more. Snack Shack.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
You're unbelievable.
Nice wheels, douchebag.
Okay, Night Swim.
Because you watched Night Swim.
Yeah. Did you watch it?
Nope.
So
I did not watch the Haunted Swimming Pool movie.
So I look on the Vudu and I browse around for movies, and like I've mentioned this before. If you see that it has an actual Rotten Tomatoes score, that means like somebody reviewed it, actually looked at it, and people actually voted on it. But if you see ones where there's like no stars, no votes, no Rotten Tomatoes score, and no actor photos, you're like, okay.
See, those are the ones I would gravitate to more than Night Swim.
I watched those though. I watched the trailers. I mean, and it still holds true. The trailers start with a drone shot of a car driving.
Oh,
just
sure.
to give it that instant production value to hook you in, and then it cuts to the actual footage and actors, and you're like, ooh, next.
There's a 6-foot pony killing people out there. He's got a 3-pronged instrument of death and destruction thingy.
But at least with like a Blumhouse movie, it's like going to have decent actors, good production value.
The one thing I'll give Blumhouse is that they intentionally keep their budgets low. I don't think anything is over like $10 million. So it's like, okay. I mean, obviously they do that. You keep it low, and it's a horror thing. It's going to make a profit. That's their business model. In the tradition of the late great Roger Corman, R.I.P. Roger Corman, by the way.
Sure.
But yeah, but they're kind of like the low budget horror equivalent of like Marvel movies, where it's like they're competent. You can watch them. Roger Corman movies are miles ahead of anything that Blumhouse makes in terms of entertainment value.
No, Blumhouse movies, because I'm going to lump in another movie here too. It's called Imaginary.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's almost like they pull the rug out from under you. And they're, both movies, Night Swim kind of like gives you this impression of a haunted killer swimming pool, where there's people swimming in it and they show like kind of Jaws shots and then some things and some spookiness. And then same with Imaginary, where I think the very last shot of the trailer is like this, like it's a haunted teddy bear. And the teddy bear is like kind of moving up the hallway and there's this kid there. And then at the last second, it turns into this like horrifying monster.
Let me guess, that's a dream sequence.
I don't remember actually, but I can tell you this, in both films, there is no gore, there's no kills.
That's because you got to keep it PG-13.
And there's no like nudity, there's no violence, there's nothing extreme.
Yeah.
It's sanitized, it's clean, it's almost G rated. And it feels very like misleading, like they don't want to go too far. We don't want to have these scenes that are too uncomfortable. We don't want to kill this character too brutally. And it's almost like this Blumhouse horror company have lost credibility in the horror department. I mean, I know you can go to get your horror fix elsewhere. Like you can watch those like Terrifier movies.
That's an extreme opposite end. Yeah,
but I'm saying you can go to other, or even Abigail, which we'll talk about eventually. But I'm just like, I'm walking away. I'm not gonna fool me once. You know what I mean? And so I was like, oh, look, this killer teddy bear might be fun. Maybe there's gonna be some scenes where it rips some old lady's head off, and then spits it out. And it flies. And
I think that's the problem with those movies is, they're not even fun and like a corny, like if you heard Roger Corman produced a movie about a killer teddy bear.
Or a haunted swimming pool.
Or a haunted swimming pool. Like, in the hands of someone like that who knows, like, these are the things you have to put in your movie to entertain the audience.
You are exploiting a subject matter. You are taking something, making it exciting, and presenting it in such a way that the audience will come. It can be done in subtle ways, and it can be done in outrageous ways.
We need a scene where...
We need a skinny dipping scene.
The local sorority sneaks onto the property whilst the family is away.
Yeah.
And they all decide to go skinny dipping. And the haunted creatures from the pool rip them apart.
They manifest themselves into these ghoulish muckmen that come out of the pool.
Sure.
Can you imagine a business meeting between Jason Blum and Roger Corman, where Roger Corman's trying to tell him to put anything in the movie?
Here's how it goes. Jason Blum with a cigarette. Can't do it. Can't do that. Won't do that. Can't do that. Probably shouldn't do that. Definitely won't do that.
No.
Nope. 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 Oh, time for a new cigarette. Can't do that. Nope, we won't do that. Yeah. And basically, so Night Swim is Wyatt Russell and family, kids. Like the poster is like a girl in a swimming pool, and you think maybe she's like 18, 19, 20. She's gonna bring her college-aged friends, all legal. But she's like 12 And her kid brother is like 4.
Oh.
And there's, it's like, oh, like you mismarketed that. This isn't going to be like Friday the 13th where teens are having sex in the woods and getting decapitated and fucking gutted.
Yeah.
You're not going to have that. And it's just like, it's a happy family. I think they said, how can a pool be haunted? A graveyard underneath it? Well, I mean, that's poltergeist.
Mm-hmm.
But they said in Michigan, because this also takes place in Michigan, and I don't know if this is factual or not. In Michigan, pools are filled up with groundwater because there's so much groundwater. So you have this little thing on the bottom of this pool, this drain. You open it up and groundwater fills it up, and then you close it. And assumingly you put chlorine in there to clean it and filter it and all that. And so it's like, we don't have to fill up our pools. That's why everyone in Michigan has a pool. I'm like, I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a lie or what. And then, so the water that fills up the pool comes from a nearby lake. And I guess to avoid blaming it on Native Americans, they say, long time ago, a certain people lived in this area, and boy, did they do sacrifices and weird rituals in this lake.
Do they keep it that vague?
They keep it vague.
If you don't want to go that route, then just make something up. You're a movie. You can do whatever the hell you want.
I know, but they wanted the Indian, Native American cursed waters to infiltrate the pool, but they didn't want us to blame it on Native Americans. They stopped short of land acknowledgement when they filled their pool. We filled this pool in the sacred grounds of the Jason Blamawi tribe. And so, yeah, I don't think they specify, but they say an ancient civilization once did burials and sacrifices in this water, and it's cursed. But the only thing that was slightly interesting was there was a twist where the water had healing properties. But it was like a monkey's paw situation where you could use the healing elements of the pool, but it would exact a price. He had like back problems or something, and then he swam in the pool. He's like, I feel great, but something bad then would happen to someone in his family, or
When Kurt Russell just drops dead.
The pool would want his kid.
I'm just picturing like they had the premise, like, okay, we'll do a haunted swimming pool movie. Just put stuff in it. Fill the movie with stuff. Just like vague ideas of things.
Well,
to get it to 90 minutes.
I mean, okay, the problem, like if we look at it from a writing perspective, the problem is like the second you discover the pool is haunted, you just don't go in it.
Yeah.
And the pool can't chase you. You know what I mean? So
in the Roger Corman movie, the pool could probably chase you.
Yeah. Or you just have endless scenes of hapless, unaware victims going into the pool and dying, and then it just sucks them down the drain and they disappear. The town figures out where are all these people going, and then they realize it's the pool. The cops show up and just shoot guns into the pool, and then no one knows what to do. A priest blesses the water so that it's like holy water pool, and then it just turns even more evil. And you could think of stuff to keep it going. So they tried to like incorporate this little story with the family and Wyatt Russell is blah, blah, and then it just becomes boring. There's no deaths. Same with the fucking teddy bear movie. I don't remember much about that, but it was really kind of, it felt G-rated.
You were never my friend. Never, ever.
It's like, fuck off. Fuck your movie. I'm like, I'm a grown up. I want to see that doll run around with a knife and just stab people. I want to see a spin-off where you have that doll fight Chucky. Where's horror? No one wants to see this shit.
Well, speaking of Chucky, there's a Chucky TV show that just finished its 3rd season, and that show's violent as shit. Chucky killed the president. He gouged his eyeballs out.
Nice.
Chucky in the White House. That was the 3rd season. It was great.
I heard it's getting canceled.
I think they're not sure if it's being renewed yet. I don't think it's canceled.
I've seen a hashtag called Renew Chucky.
Yeah, because it's like they weren't sure if it was going to be renewed yet. They should, though. The third season, Chucky in the White House. He forces the president by gunpoint to send a nuke to the North Pole just to be a dick, just to convince kids that the Santa Claus got blown up.
That's so awesome.
That's my mini review of Chucky. It's wonderful.
That's art.
Yes.
Is it like a Trump-like president, or is it just generic president?
It's generic. It's Devon Sawa.
Devon Sawa's the president?
Devon Sawa has played like 5 characters on this show now. He keeps getting killed and then coming back as a new character.
Huh.
But yeah, he's like, I think just because they wanted to avoid any sort of like real world politics stuff, because it's not what the show is about. It's not a political satire. It's just the concept of Chucky in the White House is funny.
Sure.
So that's the premise of the season. And he kills people in ridiculous, over-the-top ways, and Brad Dourif swears a bunch. He hasn't skipped a beat. He's been playing Chucky now for like 30-plus years.
Jennifer Tilly?
Jennifer Tilly shows up.
Okay.
She's great on it. It's a quality show. Some people watch it, but...
What channel is it on?
It's got a weird release. It's on like Sci-Fi, and then it gets released on Peacock the next day, something weird.
Oh, well, I got Peacock.
There you go. There you go.
I bought the Chucky, all Chucky movies on Blu-ray.
Oh.
Because after the second one, I think I kind of stopped, so I may do a Chucky marathon.
Ooh.
And then get into the Chucky show.
Well, that's the interesting thing, is that it's continued. There was that Child's Play remake, which is kind of in its own little pocket. But other than that, other than like Star Wars, I can't think of another series that's gone on for this long and has remained in the same like continuity. They don't ignore anything. They've never soft rebooted stuff. Even when the movies get ridiculous, like nobody likes Seed of Chucky. I kind of like it, but people didn't like it because it was too silly and too comedic. But they've still continued, like plot lines from that movie are still going on in the series. Like,
interesting.
Yeah, it just continued to stay in continuity and grow and shift and change. They've done a lot with the concept of a killer doll. Like those first 3 movies are very like, you have your first movie and then the sequels are very like traditional sequels. But then after that, Chucky got a wife, Chucky had a child that had like confused about their own gender, and then that child got split into 2 human children, and it's gone everywhere.
So
he's been to the White House, he's been exorcised.
Rare case, we always talk about those perfect movies, you know, your Jaws and be sequelized.
Well, Halloween, we always bring
Halloween,
up.
yeah. And Chucky is one where it's like, or Child's Play, where it's like a doll gets possessed and it kills.
You stupid bitch, you filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
It's such a simple concept.
Such a simple concept, perfect, one and done.
Yeah.
But
They've been able to expand on it and go in all
to
these
the rule, apparently.
very weird direct. I think because they keep like refreshing it with new weird ideas.
Yeah.
And that helps.
And that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
They go out of your safety zone, out of your comfort zone.
Chucky's grown and changed as a person,
He's
which is
gotten
really
older.
bizarre.
I see pictures of him as an elderly man.
He starts to actually die in the new season, and he gets all wrinkled, and he's like going to die for real, because he always dies and comes back. And that's
But
is
he still possessed by the same spirit of the serial killer? But how does the plastic doll age?
Voodoo magic.
Voodoo magic.
It doesn't matter. He goes to a voodoo doctor that diagnoses him because he got exorcised in the season before that. So he has some like Catholic in him, and that's what's making him age, because he's not fully voodoo. It's very silly. It's great.
Well, Blumhouse should take this concept and water it down to a G-rated film.
Fuck you, my 3-gun.
Continued in part 2.